Hi everyone, this is Mark Hamlin here, and today I'm going to take you through some of the free applications we offer for Business Central Cloud. And who is we? We are InsightWorks. So if you don't know who we are, we've been working in North America for close to 10 years now, and we really focus on manufacturing and distribution. So we create products for NAV and for Business Central, in that vertical. And everything we do is through our partners. So we want to, get you signed up as partners so that you can get the value out of the products that you need. For any of the free products we're talking about today, you do not need to be a partner. You can go ahead and use them. We don't need the name of your firstborn child in order for you to register and use these products or anything else. But we do like to work through the partners. All right, and again, most of our work has been done in North America, but we do have partners in Europe, and we are working in Europe today as well. What I want to talk to you today about, again, are the free applications we offer for Business Central. But this is a list of sort of all of our solutions that we have available, anywhere from NAV 2013 all the way up to the Business Central Cloud. Most of these applications will support pretty much any version. Also, pretty much all of the applications, with one exception, are built right into Business Central. So there's no separate database you need or anything else. Now, again, any of these applications, I'll give you a slide here that you can go to our website, check them out and everything else. But really what we want to focus on today are the free apps that are available for Business Central Cloud. And why do we give these away for free? Well, it's to help you. Really, I think our responsibility as an ISV is to help you sell Business Central. And so what these applications do is they fill those gaps in Business Central that you may have problems overcoming when you're in a sales cycle, right? So you're trying to sell Business Central Cloud to somebody and they want production scheduling, or they want warehouse management or document management. Well, we provide you those solutions at no cost to help you sell Business Central. And then once you sell that, if they decide, well, we need better warehouse management, or we need this or that, great, come back to us, we have those solutions as well. So these free apps fill that gap during the sales cycle, and people are using them in production all the time. So they're not just toy apps, they're not just for demos. They're very good apps that you can use, both for selling and for customers that need these types of solutions. So what are those solutions? Well, WMS Express is a free warehouse management solution. So what that allows you to do is receiving, picking, shipping in some cases, and stock takes. So when you ask people what they need to do in a warehouse, those are really the three things they focus on. Well, we need to receive product, we need to pick it, and we need to do stock takes. That's what we offer with WMS Express. Now, if you need more than that, you can look to our Warehouse Insight product. We have another session where we talk a little bit more about that, or you can visit our website. But WMS Express meets a pretty significant need. It's free, you plug it in, and now you have barcode scanning within Business Central. The other one that's on there is a graphical scheduler. You're talking to somebody that's a manufacturing company and they want to be able to see their production schedule. What do? There's nothing in Business Central. Well, you install Graphical Scheduler, it's free, and all of a sudden you can see all your production orders graphically. You can drag and drop, you can do whatever you like. You can also extend that solution to do any other tables within the system. If you wanted to schedule, to-dos or service or whatever you like, you can extend that solution yourself. We'll have, jobs and service and those sorts of things coming out later for the free app. But if you want to do it yourself, the system is wide open and you can do that. The next one is Print Node Connector. Now, everybody needs this. Everybody needs a cloud print solution in Business Central Cloud. At some point, Microsoft will have universal print available, and then you won't need our product. But until then, it's free. You still need to sign up with a company called Print Node in order to use it. But that gives you that cloud print capability that everybody needs, where I can just hit the print action and my invoice and my packing slip and everything print out automatically on different printers, and we're done. Okay, so Print Node Connector, again, free. Barcode generator, if you need to generate these square barcodes, the data matrix barcodes, then Barcode Generator is more of a development tool, but you can take that, you can build your own reports, and you can generate those 2D barcodes. We also support, the code 39, the linear barcodes as well. But for those types of reports, you can just use the fonts in Business Central. If you need the data matrix reports, you can use our solution. Finally, Doc Extender. Doc Extender is drag and drop document management. So anytime you see an attachment box in Business Central, you're able to drag any documents you want in there, and it'll either attach it inside Business Central or it will upload it to SharePoint. So we've got SharePoint storage or Business Central storage. And you can extend that solution as well if you like. You can do all sorts of fancy things like if I drop a text file onto a production BOM card, maybe you use that to read the contents out of that file and upload the BOM immediately. So there's lots of things you can do beyond just using it as a nice end-user tool for document management. All right. And the last one there is actually Nav Extender, and that's actually if you're running the Windows client on premises. And all you do is you go to navextender.com, you download it, you run the app, and now you can drag and drop into the Windows client, the old Rolltailor client. And there's no code modifications or anything required. It's very nice and simple and quick, and it can help some of your legacy customers if you want. All right. So those are the apps we're going to talk about today. If you need more information about any of the free apps or the paid apps, you can go to our website up on the screen there, and it will give you all the information you need. We also have the knowledge base, kb.dmsiworks.com, that gives you installation instructions, user guides, all sorts of things that you need to understand the products and get them working, especially the free products. All right. With that, let's jump in and actually have a look at what these things look like. So what I'll start with are some of the basic ones. So, for example, Doc Extender. Everybody probably would want to be able to drag and drop documents. So that's fairly straightforward. Let's go in, and I'll go into, let's say, an item cart. But anywhere in the system where there's an attachment box available for you, you can do that drag and drop. So let me just grab one of these things here. If you're on a card that doesn't have an attachment box, Microsoft has made that very extensible. You can create your own extension that has that attachment fact box, and now you can use Doc Extender with it. It will just automatically work. So the way it works is if I come in here and I look at the attachments, you can see we've got a little Doc Extender drop point there. That shows up when you install it. And then if I've got a document, like let's say I've got an assembly diagram that I want to, attach to this particular item, I can just drag it, and you can see it turns blue there, and drop it, and it will attach, and it says it's attached to the attachments page. If I open it, say yes, it'll open up and show me that attachment. You'll notice below I've got a record link here, and that's because earlier I had it set up to drop to SharePoint. And so if I drop it to SharePoint, it will create a record link for me and actually store that document on SharePoint automatically. Okay, so very easy to set up, very easy to use, and you've got both the SharePoint and the Business Central attachments. All right, so that's Doc Extender. Quick and easy, great little tool, demos well, very useful in real life as well. The other one is the printing side, the print node connector. So the way that works, I'm just actually going to go in and show you a little bit. We're going to go into print node connector here. Oops. Sorry, I should know what it's called. We're going to go into print node connector setup. So we're going to go into the setup. Now the way this works is you will go to print node. Those are the people that do actually do the cloud printing. We're just creating the connector between us and them. They're going to give you an API key, and you're going to paste it in there. And that's all you do. Once you paste that API key in there, that's the only setup you have to do. After that, you can go into this printer selections, and that's the standard Business Central printer selections dialog. And it will allow you to now specify by user ID or by report what you actually want to print. So let's say every time I want to print, the trial balance or something like that, right? Any user that's printing the trial balance, and again, this is standard Business Central functionality. The printer selections comes from the old NAV world. Anytime I want to print the trial balance, I'm going to go off and print that to the accounting printer. And that's it. That's how it works. You set it up based on user and report, and it now is going to print that printer to that report. So let's see what that looks like. So I've got sales confirmation set up. So for me, every time I print the sales confirmation, in theory, that's going to print on the showroom printer. So let's see if that actually works. So what we'll do is we'll go into some sales orders to get a sales confirmation here. And I'll just grab the first one and we'll say print send, and I'm going to print the order confirmation here. And when it does that, of course, it lets me set the filters and options. But you'll see up at the top it says the showroom one invoice printer is selected. If I hit print, I get no additional user interface prompts. It immediately just prints to that printer and I'm done. If you have multiple report selections, so you're printing, if you're doing a post and print and you want to print the invoice on one printer, the packing slip on another printer, some shipping labels on a third printer, you can set that up for each of those reports, and they'll all just automatically print in one shot. So it's a much better solution than having to print to PDF and then print to the actual printer and those sorts of things. So again, print node connector. Really, after you've got your API key from print node, it's about 30 seconds to set up in Business Central, and you now have cloud print capability. Very easy, right? So those are the two sort of simple ones, right? Nice, simple little pieces of functionality that really everybody needs. Now let's get into something a little more comprehensive. We're going to start with the graphical scheduler. And again, the graphical scheduler lets me schedule today production orders. You do have the ability, again, to plug in whatever tables you want within the system. We have something called a view. And within a view, you can go in there and you can edit what you're actually showing in the view with filters. You can specify the table and filters and everything else that you want, and color styles and those sorts of things if you want to extend it to show more than production orders. Or maybe you want to extend it to show, you know, certain types of planned orders or firm planned orders, or filter it down to specific items if you want. So you can create views for all of that. And then I can just come in here and choose a view and have that show up on the screen for me, right? So in this case, I don't have a lot of production orders in this environment. I've got this one here. The nice thing about this is, where you saw in that view, where I had the color rules, you can change the colors of these blocks based on the data within Business Central. So for example, if I have an order starting late, I could turn it red. Maybe you have a custom field for priority on a production order. If that's turned on, maybe if it's a high priority order, you turn it pink or something along those lines. So you can change the colors of these individual blocks based on data within the system. I have it set up so that when I tap on one of these, everything else in that production order turns green, so that, you know, we can see what else is impacted by this. The shift line that you see up at the top here, the shift line you see up at the top here, you can put anything you want in there. So you can, you know, basically create a bit of a histogram type view where you show, you know, the work center capacity, the work center load, the remaining capacity available. You can do anything like that. It's all very configurable for you. But, you know, out of the box, if you install it, this is what you get. You can come in, you can change the date range, the zoom, you can do all of those sorts of things. You can go to the next or previous period up here. You can set filters for what you want to show. Do you want to show planned orders, firm planned orders, released orders, all of the above? All of those sorts of things you can set up. If you have one of these things selected, you can hit details to launch. In this case, it'll launch the production order itself, but you can come in and navigate to any information on that particular operation within the system, and for the work center and everything else as well. Okay, so very nice tool from a demo perspective, certainly, where somebody wants to buy Business Central and they're a manufacturer. Well, here you go. This is how you can look at your schedule and drag and drop. So as an example, I take this operation here and I'm going to drag it and drop it there. It's going to go in and it's going to reschedule the other operations accordingly, and you can see the result there. Okay, so you can see that's a great little tool. You know, install it, try it out, see what you think, let us know, but feel free to use it as much as you like. So that's 3 things so far. We've done dock extender, we've done print node connector, and we've done the graphical scheduler. The last one I'm going to talk about is this WMS Express. And this is of a lot of interest to you. And this should be available for you by the time you see this video on AppSource worldwide. Right now it's North America only, as in right now, a week before you're viewing this video. But WMS Express, I'm just going to take you to the website very quickly here. And you can see on the screen there, if you go to WMSExpress.com, it will explain all about the solution. And if we scroll way down, it's going to compare the different versions. So there's 3 different versions of WMS Express you can use depending on how you've got Business Central set up. Anywhere from no bins all the way up to directed, put away, and pick. And a comparison between that and our paid product, our full warehouse management product called Warehouse Insight. So it's worth looking at this and seeing if you like it. But again, you just install it from AppSource directly. And after you do that, you can run it on almost any hardware you like. If you have existing Android devices, it's easy to install. Or if you have Windows devices, you can install it on that as well. For that, you'd likely need some of our help because Windows devices won't connect to Business Central directly, but Android will. You can also run it on a phone if you want. We use the phone's camera as a scanner. And you can use that to test it out and see if it works. I wouldn't use a phone in a warehouse, but you can try it out. Now, if you do buy some hardware, we can also supply the hardware for you, even in Europe. And a lot of the devices can come pre-configured, which means they come with the application installed and everything set up, and you just have to scan a configuration barcode to start. Now, if it doesn't come pre-configured, or if you buy the hardware somewhere else, that's great. You can install the application from a barcode and then scan the configuration barcode. So I'm going to show you what happens. We're going to go in, and I've installed it from AppSource already, so it's in Business Central here. You can see it here. But after you install it from AppSource, what you're going to do is you're going to go into Assisted Setup, and on Assisted Setup, you're of course going to run the WMS Express install, and it says you've already run it once, which I have, so I'm going to run it again. And I'm just going to show you what's required in order to get this thing set up. So first of all, we accept the terms and conditions, then we say next, and here's where we choose the version we want to run. So you can look at a website to see what each of those things means. But standard is no warehouse documents, basic is like inventory picks, inventory putaways, and warehouse is warehouse picks and warehouse receipts and warehouse putaways. So you choose the one you want, then you hit next, and you specify your contact information, and down here you can specify the initial location you want to configure, along with your user ID, your initial test user ID, so that'll be your Business Central login, and the web service key for your Business Central login. So you enter all that, and when you hit next, it'll go ahead and install the application. So it'll install, the initial configuration, everything else. I'm not going to do that because it takes 2 or 3 minutes. But once you do that, it prints out a report that gives you the barcodes you need to configure this system. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to open this up here, and this is the report that it generates. So it's got step 1. If you don't have the hardware pre-configured, you scan that to install the application either on Windows or Android. Down here, it's got a configuration barcode that you scan to actually configure the solution to the system. And again, this report generates as soon as you run the assisted setup. And then finally, at the bottom, we've got a barcode that lets you scan it to actually log in. So let's see what that actually looks like if I do this. So what I'm going to do is I've got a device in my hand here, which I'll show you in a moment. I'm just going to share it up on the screen here. Oops, I lost the background, but that's okay. So here is this device. This is a Memoir 10. And that Memoir 10 is this thing here, right? So this is a little device. This one doesn't have a physical keypad, but you can get, the Honeywell device with a physical keypad, whatever you like. And this one, as a matter of fact, I think I will actually minimize this. It looked better like this, didn't it? All right. So this one here came preloaded with the software on it. So you can see it comes with the right background, and this application down here is the application that runs WMS Express. So when I first get the solution, what I do is I tap on that, and it'll start the application. Now it says Warehouse Insight. It's the same code base. It's just a slimmed down version of Warehouse Insight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan that barcode sheet that Business Central printed for me. So I'm going to actually take that and I'm going to scan the barcode on the screen here. Oh, and I lost the screen mirroring here. Let's just retry that real quick, make sure we can reconnect. Good. All right. So yeah, when I turned the device sideways, it went into landscape and I lost screen mirroring for a sec. But what I'm going to do, this is what happens when you first install the software, or if you get the software preloaded. I'm simply going to come in here and I'm going to scan the first barcode on that sheet to configure the system. Oh, there we go with the landscape mode again. Let me just turn that off. All right, so I'm going to scan the barcode for configuration, and that's it. And it has now configured the system, and it's now asking me to scan the barcode to log in. And you can scan it off the report, so that report does have that initial test barcode that you saw on the screen, or you can print a badge, a barcode badge that employees can use to log in instead of typing a username and password. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flag this to remember me, and then I'm simply going to scan my login badge, and we'll wait a few seconds for it to initially do that initial connection with Business Central, that initial software load from Business Central, and it only takes 10-20 seconds the first time we do it, and that's it. We're now connected to Business Central, and we can actually start scanning and using it with the Business Central data that's in there already. So it's as simple as that. You don't really get much simpler than that type of setup. I grab a device, I scan a barcode, and I'm up and going. And these are the apps that you see on the screen there that come with WMS Express. So most of the different versions come with 3 apps. The warehouse version comes with 4 apps. And they're really the stock take, or what we call the standard count, which you scan everything onto a physical inventory journal. We've got receiving, and we've got picking or shipping on the device. So let me show you what that looks like. If I go into receiving here, it'll open up, and it will show me, and the first time you do it, it takes a second, because again, it's loading the applications directly from Business Central. If I do that again, if I go into receiving again, it's pretty much instant. And now I just choose the purchase order that I want to receive. So there's a lot of things you can do here. You can, set this, you can choose additional columns to show on the device. There's all sorts of things you can do. And all this configuration is controlled from within Business Central, right? So you can set all of that stuff up. Now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to open up that first purchase order. And again, the first time you do it, it takes a second to load. If I do that again, maybe I'll grab the second purchase order, which is hopefully more interesting. We go in, and there's the PO that I need to start receiving. And the way this works is, if you've got barcodes on your product already, I just start scanning barcodes. Or if you wanted, I can hit the menu and I can hit that print option right there. By the way, that little screen you see on that little circle you see on the screen, that's my finger touching the screen. So I could hit print, and I could print barcode labels if I want, or any other report that I set up in the report selection. So there's a lot of things you can do there. But assuming the vendor has everything barcoded to receive, and I'm receiving directly against a purchase order in an environment that doesn't have bins enabled. If I had bins enabled, we could see the bin code, those sorts of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan one of the barcodes. I've got a pile of product in front of me, as you can see. I'm going to grab one of those items, and I'm going to scan the barcode on it. And as soon as I do that, it'll find it in the list. It can optionally show you a picture, and I'm going to enter the quantity I received of that particular item, and I'm done. That is updated Business Central in real time. That's all real-time communication with Business Central. It is the same as if I'd gone into that purchase order in Business Central and entered that quantity of 14. I was going to show you in Business Central, but I'm assuming you're going to believe me that that's actually happening. And if you don't believe me, install WMS Express and find out. So again, the install process, very easy. App source, install it, run assisted setup, takes a couple minutes, you get a sheet of barcodes, you scan it, and you're good. Now, one thing I will talk about, because if you do this, you're probably going to try it on a cell phone first. What happens on a cell phone is it'll prompt you, it'll recognize that the device you're running on is not a scanner, it's a phone, and it will actually prompt you to use the camera. In my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go into configuration here. And the default password is 1234. That might save you some time looking it up online. And when I get into that, you can see all the configuration that came in when we scanned the configuration barcode. And I'm going to go down here to barcoding. And there I've got the ability to turn that camera on or off. So if I turn the camera on, it gives me the option to choose different barcode formats. We turn on some by default. The more common ones are turned on by default. And as soon as I do that, and leave the configuration, it will reload it from Business Central. And so it's reloading all the applications and everything from Business Central. And now we've got this little icon here I can drag around the screen. And that icon starts my camera, right? So I would start it, but I don't want you to see my environment here. But I'll start the camera, and I'll just show you a screen share here. So that is what happens, and I can just scan a barcode from that camera, right? So if you do want to try it on a phone, that is the thing you'll get. And the reason you can drag that little guy around is because if you're holding a phone, let me just do this. Remember 10 is nice, you can just slide that pistol grip off. If I'm walking around with a phone, I just keep that little barcode scanner where my thumb is, and it's very easy to tap it and start that going. All right, so that's a little bit on WMS Express and the other free products. I'm available now for any questions that you may have, or again, go onto the website, go onto AppSource. We've got all the information available, and give us a shout if you have any additional questions. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content.